Hi, I'm Mel Pickup, Chief Exec of Bradford Teaching Hospital. Welcome to this week's roundup of news from across the Trust. And as we have important news about our vaccination programme, I'm coming to you this week from our Vaccination Hub. More of that shortly. Also, coming up, you'll see how, as health and care professionals, we act as one. But first, this week has seen a new major research trial starting here in Bradford. This is the latest study for our newly established Patient Recruitment Centre, which is based at Bradford Royal Infirmary. And it's a test of a drug that could make a real difference to patients who have suffered a heart attack. Here's consultant cardiologist Stephen Lindsay and a patient to tell us more.
The trial is a study looking at the use of a drug that was originally developed for use in patients with diabetes, and it's for patients who had a moderately sized heart attack. And this is the first non-COVID related trial that we've been able to get off the ground that's come to us through the PRC. So it's believed that this drug may help to reduce the risk of people who've had a moderately sized heart attack going on to develop complications over time, particularly complications like heart failure, or indeed dying from heart disease after they've had a heart attack. We're hoping to recruit 70 patients in Bradford over the next 18 months or so, so we're looking to sort of recruit a patient per week or thereabouts, and then patients are followed up for about a year after that.
I decided to take part because it would help other people. Everybody's been wonderful.
Thanks both. It's great that the Bradford community is having access to these early treatments and that these trials benefit generations to come with potential heart problems. Now, our vaccine hub has been at the forefront of the COVID vaccination rollout. Since opening in mid-December last year, we've administered almost 40,000 COVID jabs, which is quite amazing. Here's Assistant Chief Nurse Jo Hilton to tell us about the key role that the hub has played in this pandemic and to bring us an important update.
This week, the Hospital Vaccination Hub is pausing. People are still able to access their vaccination for COVID-19 via their GP, who would call them up to book on the national booking system. And we have sites available in Bradford, Bradford College, Jacobs Well, community pharmacies and GP practices. And the most memorable thing for me is actually the impact of the staff that have worked here, that have seen some of the unpleasant sides of COVID and having to care for people that have been really poorly with COVID. It's been really great to see the positive impact that this has had on them and being able to work here and contribute positively in a way to the recovery of COVID. It's been a real privilege to work with a number of different groups of staff who've all played a really significant part in making this a success.
Thanks, Jo. It's really been a monumental team effort by everyone involved with the hub. And as Jo has said, this is just a pause for our hub, not a full closure. It's fantastic to hear that across Bradford District and Craven, 39% of our population has now had both vaccine doses. That's truly outstanding effort. Now it's time to find out what else is making the headlines across the Trust.
It's so important to be recognised in our role that we do in the care and the support of women and babies everywhere. It's really a super exciting, challenging role, one that we are so proud to be a part of.
I would just like to say a massive thank you for everything that you've done for Monty and Lottie and their family when they were prematurely born. Wish me luck.
Eva, you are an inspiration to us all and we'll definitely be tuning in next week to see your new hairdo. We're sure that you will look absolutely fabulous. Next, our ICU nurses have been at the forefront of our COVID care here. Looking after our patients has been their number one priority. But it's essential that they look after themselves too and make sure that they remain fit and well. Here's ICU Sister Sian Priestley and Junior Sister Vicky Marriott to describe how they've done it.
We set up a netball team about 5 years ago. Over the pandemic, that stopped initially. So we looked at other things like walking and running to keep us fit.
At the start of the pandemic, it definitely affected ICU staff a lot. We had a definite increasing amount of patients in, the sickest patients we've ever looked after in any of our careers, nurses and doctors.
Getting out in the fresh air and walking, because a lot of people have had anxiety, and we've had a lot of people off with anxiety and stress during this. And I think just being out and doing something different with your colleagues that know what you've been through and what you're struggling with is just a good way for people to get through what we've been doing, really.
Thanks, Sian and Vicky. I feel exhausted just watching all the activities that you've been involved in. So do keep up the good work, and thank you again for everything you do in caring for our sickest of patients. Well, that's it for this week. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook and LinkedIn. Have a lovely weekend. Let's hope the weather is better than it was for the last one. Finally, I'd like to wish all Muslim colleagues, patients and our communities a very happy Eid Mubarak for next week. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you next week.